Okay, so listen, you have to get tired of being average. You have to get fed up. Okay. Me personally, when I live my life, I live the same day for a few days. It irritates me. It makes me very impatient and I get frustrated and I wonder why. I'm like, oh, that's why, because I can't stand being in the same position for the rest of my life. I can't stand that. Okay. I can't stand being average. I can't stand that stuff. Okay, even if it means not being average and still living the same day every day or this a similar day every day. It irritates me. I can't handle that. I have to make it different. I have to make interesting things happen in my life because I can't handle being average in any way, in any shape or form. And I know that sounds really stupid, but you have to think this way too. This will improve you. Okay, if you start thinking this way, thinking, oh, I can't be average, I have to be better, then you will start putting in more effort. And if you start putting in more effort, you'll start getting more results and you'll start improving more. It'll be an endless upward spiral, but you have to have the right mindset. So when you look at a situation where, oh, this is a difficult situation, I'm gonna quit, you say that, then you're gonna quit and then you're not gonna get any results, and then you're just gonna be disappointed in yourself. You're gonna ruin your self-belief because you know you quitted at something. You can't be a quitter. Okay, I said this in my last video, you can't quit. Okay, if you become a quitter, no one can help you. I'm sorry, there's no way in any realm, not even God, no one can help you if you're a quitter. Okay, if you quit at everything and you're just lazy and all that, no one can help you. I'm sorry. So you cannot quit at everything. You can't quit at anything. Okay, because otherwise you will end up losing. Okay, you can't be a quitter. So now that we got that out of the way, we have to talk about effort. Okay, if you're putting in 80% of the effort every single day, that's great. Okay, but you should bump it up to 100% because if you bump it up to 100%, then your goals will be guaranteed. And you'll also start seeing major improvements. The more effort you put in, the more results you're going to get. It's guaranteed. It doesn't matter if they aren't even correlated. It's karma. It's karma. It's karmically related. Okay, so if you put in more effort every single day, some other area of your life is guaranteed to improve. I know that sounds really stupid, but it's true. Okay, so it might take some time. It's not going to happen instantly, but it will end up happening. So you just have to put in the effort and the consistency and the dedication. I said this so many times. And the other thing, I'll notice there's a lot of people in my day-to-day life that I notice that it makes me irritated. I'll see these people in my day-to-day life who are putting in half the effort or no effort. And I look at them and I'm like, and disgusting. That sounds really rude, but it's like I know they're not putting in the effort. I have been in difficult situations, and a lot of people think, oh, I'm in a difficult situation. I can't get out of this situation. I've had times where I've been bullied. I've had times where I've been in a chokehold. I've had times where, oh, I was, disappointed in myself, but I still put in the effort. I still understood the process of the grind. That's what you have to understand no matter what situation you're in. You have to have the right mindset. If you're constantly telling yourself in your mind and being hard on yourself, telling yourself, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, then you won't end up doing it and you won't end up achieving it. So you can't think that way, especially if you have all these enemies around you, surrounding you, trying to bring you down. You cannot afford a negative thought. You can't afford that. Okay, so you have to think on the correct frequency. You have to think about what you're going to end up getting, the position you're going to end up being in, or whatever your dream job is, whatever your dream position is, whatever you want to own a business, whatever it may be. If you're working towards that, you have to visualize that. Okay, and you have to give yourself goosebumps. Think about what you want. Okay, think about what you want to achieve. Once you think about that, then you'll get the actual feeling that your brain won't know the difference between reality and what's fake in your mind. Okay, so you'll actually feel what it feels like to be in that reality, and then the work will become easy. If you keep on thinking that way, the work will be easy, and you'll actually enjoy the work. The work will be the fun part. Okay, so that is kind of the equation that causes you to become an amazing person and achieve amazing things and achieve greatness. Okay, so back to what I was talking about earlier. When I look at people who haven't achieved their goals or they're just putting in half the effort, especially in the wrestling, I know they're running slower than me. I know they could run faster. They're just not putting in their full effort. That's why they can't do as much stuff as me. That's why they don't have as many pins as me. So when I look at those people, it irritates me. I know it sounds really stupid, but it's like when I see them putting in half the effort, I don't like to hang around them because I know that they aren't mentally ready to put in the effort. They aren't mentally prepared or mentally capable of achieving big things. They're only mentally capable of achieving okay things. I'm not okay with okay. I'm okay with amazing. right? So it's kind of like when I see these people who are putting in half the effort, it's just I know they're going to get half the results. I know they're going to get a quarter of the results because they aren't putting in anywhere near enough effort. So they just end up in the same place. They end up stuck. They end up average. They end up broke. They end up, not achieving their goals. And I just don't like that. I don't like thinking that way. I don't care if I end up in a bad situation because I know that I'm still putting in my full effort. As long as I know that, then I know I will end up achieving my goal. Even if I'm in a bad situation, it doesn't matter. So as long as you start thinking this way, you will have the confidence in knowing that you will end up achieving your goals. And as a result, you will end up achieving your goals because you'll be willing to put in the effort and the steps behind it. It's a very simple concept. As long as you understand it and you think about it for a second, it'll become really simple. So that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I thank you guys so much for the support. Other than that, that's about it. Thanks for watching.